Salut everyone, Airmax here. In this video, I'm gonna share with you my ultimate distro tier list for gaming and content creation. I did one like 6 or 7 months ago, but I did try a lot of other distro in the meantime, and I think it needed a little update. Are you ready? Let's get into it. As always, let's start with a little bit of context. I want to share with you like my way of working and what this distribution tier list is really based on. So the first thing I want to share with you is my YouTube channel. If you go on it, you're going to see that there is a lot of content related to gaming, content creation, and Linux. I'm actually pushing like 1 to 4 to 5 videos a week. And I did test all the most popular distribution on my own hardware, like no virtual machine, any of that, no theory crafting. When there is a new release, I take it, I install it. I do that live with my community every Wednesday and Friday. I have a series of benchmark, a series of tests we put together to make sure that at the end of the stream or at the end of the streams, because sometimes like I repeat the stream with the same distro to make sure we didn't forget anything, like I did for Bazzite, for example. But I always go on my hardware and I go in depth. So the information you're going to get here is really objective. There is no theory crafting. There is no use of virtual machine. This is the real experience I got for the last 3 years. Some of those distros, I tested them for like 2 years. I've been maining them. I won't give you the name of my distro right now because I'm gonna kind of like destroy the purpose of all the tier list. But there is one distro I'm using like full time for more than 2 years, and a lot that I really enjoyed. For the other ones that I just did try, I did some challenges where I had to run the distro, for example, for 1 month. And some others I could take the big line and what could be the problem and what are the problems of this distro after like 3 or 4 hours of use live. So right now it's going to be a tier list making. I can't go in all the distro really in detail. If you are interested of getting more information toward a specific distro, I really invite you to go on my channel, go to the search section of my YouTube page and just type whatever you want, and you will see you're going to find a lot of content of all the distro I'm going to mention in this video. Whether it's like short type of content, which is like between 10 and 30 minutes, and also all the live streams that I made when I tested, for example, like Fedora in this one. Like I did test it for 5 hours with my community, and you will see the whole process, like the installation, the optimization, the different benchmark, my feedback live, and linked to that, you will have a short-term video linked to the stream itself. Like that, you're gonna have a really good understanding on what's going on at this specific point of time with the distro. I hope I'm clear enough because I want to put an emphasis of all the work I've done there, and I believe like my channel is a really big mine of gold when it comes to like content related to Linux. So before we jump into the tier list, I want to make sure that you understand the different category I'm going to put those distribution in. So first category is called the best. This is for me the distro which are going to have the best experience out of the box. No tweak, nothing, you install, you play, you enjoy, end of it. And there is more and more distro which are actually in this category. It has been crazy, like the amount of improvement we had in the last like 8 months. The second category is almost best. So those distro out of the box, they're gonna be running well, but you're gonna have to do like little trick, or there is some little details that are going to put yourself behind compared to the best distro out there. The third category, which is like okay, but it's the type of distro which are like giving you the opportunity to create content and game, but those ones are gonna need a little bit more attention. They're gonna require sometimes some work compared to the two other like category above. So the idea is that is the experience as good out of the box as the other one? Yes, but you know, you have to do that, or there is this and there. So you will see, I will go in detail for all the distros there. The before last is no thanks. So no thanks is more like, okay, you can game, you can create content, but it's gonna be a lot of work. Like it's gonna be sometime like work you have no idea you're putting in yourself to, or you're gonna be in this position where the game kind of works and the content creation possibility are there, but it's not optimal. And I'm gonna explain why in some of those concrete examples. So I will put there in no thanks, because there you're gonna be in a position where you're gonna really be in the need to want to use this distro and be willing to spend some time to make it work. And the hell no, the last category, this is my favorite one or my funniest one, is a category in terms of like, those distros are not made at all for content creation or gaming. And some of the base of the distros themselves are gonna go against that. And you're gonna be like, oh, AirMax doesn't exist? Yes, it does. Okay, so could you make them work? Maybe, but yeah, hell no. Hell no. So let's start with the first one. We're gonna put it out of the way right away. It's gonna be Arch. And Arch, I'm gonna put it in okay, but. And I'm putting in this category because obviously Arch is a pragmatic distro. It's a do-it-yourself type of distro. And I think the experience out of the box for content creation and gaming is not there. You're gonna have to do it and build it on your own, and it requires work. So it's not a bad distro at all. It's actually one of my favorite, actually two favorite. I'm gonna put that out of the way. There is Arch and there is Debian. I put them here like first, but I would say like Arch is great if you know what you are doing, if you are willing to read the wiki, and if you want to put your hand under the hood. So all the techie out there, you're gonna be in love with this one. The people who love to control every configuration on your machine, that's for sure. When you come for gaming and content creation out of the box, not for everyone. Now, my first love, Debian. And Debian, for the specific utilization, desktop and content creation, I'm gonna put it in no thanks. And I'm gonna put it in no thanks because I believe like some of the packages on this distro, they are way too old. And it required extra work for the user to actually take benefit of it. And it also requires a lot of knowledge. So I'm gonna give you a quick example we encountered while I was like testing it and retesting it. I love this distro, guys, like let's be clear. But I want it to work so much, but at the end I realized this is just too much work. So if you think about gaming, the version of the driver, whether it's AMD like with the Mesa stack or NVIDIA with the NVIDIA stack, they are like old for Mesa, so you're gonna have to do some trick to get the latest version of Mesa, which can be sometimes complicated. And for NVIDIA driver, like you have a lot of packages you have to go through, make sure they are there. And some users, they believe they install the package like nicely and everything is fine, and then they realize, for example, like they don't have DLSS working properly on their driver. They don't have some option. You need to know exactly what type of package you install, what are the correct repo to install, for example, the NVIDIA driver, but for everything else. So Debian for server, wonderful. Debian for a desktop, which is doing something else than gaming and content creation, astonishing. Right now, for gaming and content creation, you're going to be behind. You don't have the latest KGA Plasma. You don't have the latest GNOME. You don't have the latest feature. So this is a price to pay to have a stable distro. And yes, it's okay, but yeah, not the best. Now, let's talk about EndeavourOS. So EndeavourOS, I will put it at almost the best. For me, EndeavourOS is a distro that pushed me toward Arch when I started the Linux desktop experience. And I have to say, this is Arch for beginner. It's just awesome. However, when it comes to the optimization, there is still things you have to do yourself for gaming. And it's not a lot to do, but you still have to do them. And that's the reason why I put this in almost the best. But if you want to jump in the world of Arch the easy way, EndeavourOS is the way to go. Now Fedora. So Fedora, I'm gonna put it at okay, but. And I'm gonna put it there because it's a great distro. They have been doing a lot of improvements, especially with Fedora 41. I've been really impressed at the level they are at right now for the easiness of use with the user of NVIDIA card, the new feature they implemented out of the box, like secure boot. Fedora is there. However, when it comes to gaming and content creation, you will have sometimes some little bugs that come out of the wood that are going to break your gaming experience. So on Fedora 40 was issue with Valheim. Now I've heard there is other issue with Fedora 41, like some crash related to the distro itself. And the truth is that the Fedora team is always trying to innovate, and they push a lot of new tech further, and sometimes it comes with some drawback. It's a great distro, don't get me wrong, but I think out of the box, it requires also some tweak for you to be in a space where everything works like flawlessly. And yes, this is how I will put it in this category. Now Garuda. Oh la la, Garuda. Garuda will put it like almost the best. Yeah, almost the best. So Garuda, you know, it's always like this experience where you love it or you hate it, you think it's bloated, or you think the theme is not the best. So you're like, Garuda, it's a special, I would say, like version of Arch with a lot of tweak. And even if it's, in my opinion, a little bit too much, it's still not optimized as I wanted. I think you're going to have a great experience using Garuda, but it still have a lot of complexity to go through to really understand it and take advantage of it. So definitively a distro you would love to try, but it's not the best. So now let's talk about Gentoo, the compilator operating system. So this one I'm going to put it in no thanks. I love Gentoo. I love the idea of the way you install it, the way you really customize every of the packages. And this is a great distro overall. But man, like, I don't know if the gamers really want to go into this level of complexity on a daily basis to run game and content creation, like application. Second thing is like some feedback I had towards some of the packages. Gentoo is kind of slow to push some packages. I'm thinking about KDE Plasma 6. They took a lot of time to push it. And some of the users were really impatient, you know, to try HDR, to try like the new experience on Wayland, like all the new features related to Plasma 6. And well, they could not. So again, not the best here, in my opinion, for those reasons. But you could make it work with a lot of effort, that's for sure. Now, Linux Mint. So Linux Mint is one of my favorites, but it's not the best when it comes to content creation and gaming. Let me explain. As we speak, Linux Mint, for example, just support X11 officially. So if you want to run Wayland, if you want to run all the features related to Wayland and gaming, you won't be able to do it. That's the first point. Second point is like the distro itself, even if it's one of the best, if not the best distro to transition from macOS or Windows, like transition to Linux, I would say overall, it still requires a lot of optimization to get where you want. I did a lot of video to do those optimization on Linux Mint. In the coming days, I'm going to be streaming the beta version of Linux Mint that now supports Wayland. So it's going to be really interesting to try like Cinnamon Wayland and see how it goes. But as we speak, I think this one is a little bit behind and required a little bit of work. But it's definitely not a bad distro, like don't get me wrong. Now let's talk about Ubuntu. So Ubuntu, last time I put it in hell no, okay? Because of the snap, because of the experience out of the box, because of the installation, because it was a mess. Let's be clear, it was a mess. But they have been doing a crazy amount of work. And I want to tell you guys now, I will put it in OK but. So I'm not talking about the LTS version. I'm talking about the 24.10, the one they release, like I think every 6 months. Like, please correct me in the comment below if I did something wrong. But it's definitely going in the right direction. Is it the best? No. Like, there's still a lot of things to work on. I think for content creation, you're gonna have to tweak a lot of things. Their snap, in my opinion, is still not ready. So you're still in this position where it's not the best, but it's there, and it will be unfair to put it in no thanks. I think OK, but it's where it belongs. Now, Kubuntu, same story. So just to be clear, this is a version of Ubuntu with KDE. And they have been doing, again, a good job, but for the same reason as Ubuntu, it's still not there at 100% for gaming out of the box. Can you game on it? No problem. Will I really push this one for gaming and everything optimized out of the box? No. Now, OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. So I'm talking about the rolling release. And this one, I will put it in OK, but. Yes, here. So this is the one that I've been really surprised by when I did the challenge. On paper, it's really a distro like oriented toward like professional, but you can have really like a good experience for gaming and content creation overall. But the thing is, like, if you want to optimize everything, there is a lot of work, right? And it's not hard to optimize, but it's still required, I believe, to get the best out of your hardware. And that's the reason why I will put it there. But again, it's not a bad choice. Now, Manjaro. Oh la la, Manjaro, guys. Okay, so Manjaro, I'm not changing my mind on this one. For me, it's a hell no. It's a hell no because the way they manage the packet, the number of errors you're gonna get while using this distro is just too much. And the other issue I have really related to it is the fact that if you try to tweak it, because they have their own repo, it's gonna put you in a situation where you're gonna have a worse experience than if you let it stock. And stock, it's definitely not an option to game on it. So some of you are gonna be like, hey, I've been running Manjaro for 20 years, everything is fine, I love it, and I respect your choice, okay? But I'm telling you guys, you are letting some of the performance on the side, and you know, if you are running the distro on testing or on unstable, which is in fact like the repo of Arch, like why are you using it? Why are you not using like Arch or EndeavourOS? Like what's the point of using Manjaro? I don't get it. So I'm not teaching on the distro, but for me, it's a no. Now, let's talk about CachyOS. CachyOS, for me, I'm gonna cut the suspense, is one of the best, if not the best, distro when it comes to gaming and content creation. I've been doing a lot of tutorial just on this distro because I do believe that this distro will be giving you the best performance for gaming. Content creation, it's not even a question. You will have the latest packages. You will have the latest optimization. You will have everything rolling edge at the rolling edge at the rolling edge. You're gonna be just amazed. This distro is one of the distros the other gaming distros are basing themselves upon when it comes to kernel optimization. It's definitively, in my opinion, the best distro out there for gaming. If you want to know more, just go watch my video. I made a full series about it. Yeah. It's just awesome. Now let's talk about Fedora Kinoite. So this one is the first immutable distro I did test. It's a good distro for desktop. It's amazing. It's amazing. Using immutable is really nice. It comes with a lot of nice perks. I won't go through them. But when it comes to gaming, customization, tweaking at a user level, it's really hard. Not impossible, but it requires a lot of work. So I can't recommend it for gaming and content creation. Point. Now another baby. So this one is Nobara. Nobara is the distro made by Glorious Eggroll. This one is awesome. Glorious Egrol is the gentleman behind Proton GE, behind the UU project, and behind Nobara. I love his work. It's not perfect, like all the other distros out there, to be clear, but you will have the best gaming experience on this distro if you are a fan of Fedora, because this distro is based on Fedora. And I have to say, it's awesome. This one will be in the best category. If you want to know more, again, search on my video out there. I've been testing all the Nobara distro, I think, since the 38 release, and he has been going up since then. If you want more detail, again, go check the review on my channel. Bazzite. So Bazzite, I would have put at almost the best. Like maybe like 8 months ago when I first tested it, because there were a lot of things that were not really what I wanted out of a gaming and content creation distro. But since then, they have been working a lot. And let me tell you, Bazzite, if you are into immutable distro, is just a pearl. You can do everything you want. When it comes to gaming, they did rework their kernel and use the scheduler of CachyOS. So now in terms of performance, you should be fine. You're gonna get, you know, like the immutable base, which kind of like, for some of you, make you safe. You know, like, oh, I'm doing something, I'm breaking it. I just go back to the previous iteration of the distro just before I upgrade, and boom, I'm good to go. So for me, this is definitely the best distro when it comes to console, you know, like PC. Like if you have a PC in your living room and you want to install Linux to do, like, for example, like a SteamOS type of approach, this one is the one to go, like, no question asked. So yeah, Bazzite in the trio of best distro for gaming and content creation out there. Now, Big Linux. Oh my gosh. So Big Linux, what is Big Linux? If you don't know what Big Linux is, it's a distro based on Manjaro. So it's a fork of a fork. It's fine. But again, I can't be behind it because I was not behind Manjaro, and there is something about the vision of this distro like I can't promote. I think it's not the type of distro you should be gaming and creating content on, even if it look really, really nice. I don't want to ditch the distro too much because I can see the amount of work related to it. But again, like if they go on a more like pure Arch base, they might be in a better position. But based on Manjaro, again, same problem as Manjaro, same issue. If you want to know more, go watch my review on it. Yeah, I can't recommend this one. Now, the surprise of the year. PikaOS, guys. PikaOS. So PikaOS has been the revelation of the year for me. I did test it before, and before I would have put it like okay, but they did some crazy work the last like 6 months. And I have to say, this distribution for gaming is awesome. So let me explain real quick. It's a gaming and content creation oriented distro. Like this is how they define themselves. They have all the optimization, or most of the optimization, like not all of them, but like most of them from CachyOS, and they have a Debian base. They repackage everything. They have their own repo. There is some work, in my opinion, that need to be done, and if you want to know more, I really invite you to go watch the video. But for me, PikaOS is one of the best contender out there, and it needs to be talked about, and I really invite you to go and try it. There is, again, like some little details that need to be ironed out, but they are hitting the right direction, and when I see the amount of work they've been doing in 6 months, I'm pretty confident that this year they are going to be able to stay in the top 4 right now for this tier list. Now let's talk about RegataOS. It's gonna be a hell no. RegataOS is a gaming distro based on OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. Even if they bring a lot of like visual artifact, I would say, can I say that? I have a problem with the philosophy and the execution of the distro. It's one of the distro I actually did not make a review of it. I just let the live out there because I did not want to ditch it. I'm not going to ditch it in this tier list, But again, my reco avoid it. Now, let's talk about Rocky Linux. Rocky Linux is kind of like the free version of Red Hat, and it's really oriented towards the pro user out there. But I still try to game on it, and I also try to create content. And I was kind of surprised, because for content creation, it's there. Again, it's not perfect. You're gonna have a lot of hassle to go through, especially when you have to install like certain like software. But still, good content there. Like, I cannot recommend it. I put it in no thanks because obviously you're gonna have a lot of work to go through, especially with gaming, because your desktop environment is gonna be old. You might not have all the features, but overall, pretty smooth sailing to install the NVIDIA driver. Pretty smooth sailing, for example, to install DaVinci Resolve. But optimization, everything else, a little bit behind. Ton of work to set it up. But if you are into that, you could. Now, TuxedoOS. So TuxedoOS, I'm gonna put it in okay, but TuxedoOS is based on Ubuntu LTS. They have a lot of modification in their kernel for their own hardware. It's overall like a decent distro, but again, their goal is not like pure gaming, pure content creation. You can make it work. The base of Ubuntu LTS, for me, it's kind of like a meh. And this is, in my opinion, where it belongs. If you want to know more, you just go on my channel and you will see my whole review out there. Now, PopOS. So PopOS, guys, PopOS, oh man, it's a tough one. PopOS, I think they are trying really hard to be a gaming centric and content creation distro, and there is a lot of positive. The issue is like they come with a scheduler. I think it's called the scheduler 76. It's not it. Like, it's just not it. When I compared it toward like scheduler optimized in the TKG kernel, or you can find in CachyOS, he has been behind. Like, the input lag is higher. The experience overall is not great. And I think this is the issue I had really with this distro. The second one is that their choice of DE, I'm not a fan of their choice of DE. Even if they come with a, NVIDIA driver pre-installed, most of the time the drivers, they are too old. There is a lot of things that I didn't appreciate. If you have a lot of modification to do, why are you not starting from something more minimalistic? And this is the issue I have with PopOS overall. So I wouldn't put it in hell no, because, it's still working. But just avoid it, really. It's just my 2 cents. Now let's talk about Xero Linux. Guys, Xero Linux is a distro made by my buddy Xero. And I will put it in okay, but this distro, you can download it, you can install it. It's a nice distro. You can also install all the CachyOS repo. You can have a really great experience on a day-to-day basis because it's an Arch basis. But again, I think the main focus of this distro is more like, like the nice desktop, the nice environment, the nice experience out of the box, but it's not really oriented toward gaming and content creation. Again, like out of the box, you can install it, but it still requires a little bit of work. So I'm gonna put it in the okay, but type of distro, and I'm gonna put it around here. Now let's talk about Clear Linux. So Clear Linux is a distro made by Intel, and they have a great kernel when it comes to gaming. Like, don't get me wrong, one of the smoothest kernel out there when it comes to performance. However, they have their own world. They have their own package manager. They have their own package. Even if the experience is great, it's a totally different world in my opinion. For me, I'm gonna put it here. It's a okay, but it's a great distro, don't get me wrong, but you're gonna have to learn a lot. It's their own universe. It's their own, like, everything. For gamer or content creation, we just want to have a great experience out of the box. You better be techie and willing to read a lot of wiki to get what you want. So I will put it in okay, but. Now, EndeavourOS. So there, I'm gonna put it in hell no. For gaming and content creation, guys, just avoid it. It's looking wonderful. I think they're trying to do a lot of things, but they are not delivering overall. I made a full review of it. I engage you to go watch it. But yeah, no, just avoid it. Now let's talk about Mageia. So Mageia is one of those pearls I discovered this year, which is like the descendant of Mandrake. Yeah, I think this is the case. Yeah, descendant of Mandrake. This distro, awesome. Let me be clear, awesome distro. If you are into this world, if you love the universe, if you love the philosophy of the distro, the package manager, everything behind it, I cannot recommend this distro. It's a good distro. Like, don't get me wrong, but again, you have to be willing to put the work in. It sounds like it's something I repeat a lot, but it needs to be said. Now let's talk about the first distro on DistroWatch. I think it was at least most of the year. I believe Linux Mint is now #1 on DistroWatch, and this one is #2 as we speak. It's Linux MX or MX Linux. To me, it's a hell no. It's a hell no. There is a version with apparently an updated kernel and, you know, like more updated driver, etc., etc. But yeah, I can't stand behind what they are doing. At least if you are a content creator or a gamer, just avoid this distro. Like, it's not where you want to be. I don't want to, you know, throw shade on the distro again. I think I've done enough on my 2 videos out there, but just avoid it. And I know some of you guys are going to be, no, this is the best distro. No, it's not. Sorry to tell you. Maybe if you want to, you know, read some mail, do something else than gaming and content creation, I have no argument towards that. But, you know, yeah. Now, NixOS. Oh my gosh. So, NixOS, where do I put it? NixOS. I'm going to put it in OK, but, and I'm going to put it, I think I'm going to put it here. So let me talk about NixOS. NixOS is an immutable declarative distribution. It's a great distribution, but it requires a lot of work to get where you want to be. If you come to NixOS and you don't have some type of like configuration to help you go through for a new user or for an experience out of the box, it is a really technical distribution. You're gonna have to learn, you're gonna have to experiment. I know a lot of you guys went there and enjoyed the distro. I respect it, but what I'm saying is, like, out of the box, it's a tough sell for content creation and gaming. However, if you could have an NixOS pre-configured with everything ready to be installed or for gaming, I'm telling you, this could be a little gem. So, NixOS, okay, but maybe we're gonna find soon a distro based on NixOS that could deliver all the little tweak out of the box with an easy installation and a rolling edge model, which could deliver all the attempts, you know, for a gamer and content creator out there. Maybe. Now let's talk about Void. So this is Void Linux. Void Linux is at the same as, I would say, like Mageia or Clear Linux. This is a type of distro you have to get into their own universe and their own, like, I would say, like, way of doing things. And let me tell you, I was amazed by this distro. The gaming performance was awesome. The tweaks out there are great. However, it's their own world, it's their own things, and I can't really recommend it, okay, for content and creation and gaming. I still think it's a little gem, but you have to read a lot of wiki. It's to kind of get into the mood to do it. But if you want to, you know, change your landscape and try something new, I really encourage you to try Void. It was really a good surprise on my end. Zorin! Hell no! Hell no, Zorin! So I know some people out there are going to be like, oh, it's so good, so easy to install. Yes. But yeah, gaming performance was really subpar. It requires a lot of work. No. It's this type of distro where there is way too much modifications that need to be done to get the best experience for gaming. And I just can't recommend it. If you want to go through the whole list, I made a video about it. But yeah, I just can't. And now the last, Solus. So Solus is going to be in the same case as Void, Mageia and Clear Linux, they have their own world, they have their own repo, they have their own everything different compared to what has been done like mainly out there. And the distro is great, but you're gonna encounter the same issue as the other one. Sometimes, you know, packages which are not up to date, sometimes specific D which are a little bit behind. And this is where we are at with this type of distro. But again, you can make it work, no problem. I'm just saying that to get it work, it's gonna be a little bit more work. If you don't know Solus, also give it a look. Watch one of my videos out there, like a really good distro, in my opinion. So before we jump to the conclusion, I want to give the ultimate ranking tier list for the 6 best distro in my tier list. And I put them in this order for a specific reason. This will be the first and this will be the last in my ranking. So left to right this way. I will do it this way because I have some specific criteria I believe in and personal, I would say, preference. So those one you could switch them, but I really like CachyOS because of the Archbase, because of the AUR, because of the precompiled package they give, precompiled optimized packages. I don't want to go into much detail out there, but I said earlier in the video there is some distro I did main for a long time, and the distro I did main in this top 6 are CachyOS, EndeavourOS, actually Garuda, I did use it a lot, and Arch. So it's not in the top 6, but it was really Arch modified with the CachyOS repo. I have to say, guys, I love those distros, and I can't recommend them enough. For the other one, I did not main them as much, but I can still kind of like give you a good, I would say, like angle when it comes to why are they better or not compared to the other one. And I would say right now, like I really love Pika because it's based on Debian and it brings a lot to the table. And I would say like this one is interchangeable with Nobara here because I like the way the work is done. So I would say like second, PikaOS and Nobara at the same level. And then you will move to the immutable model, right? It's a beast on its own. And I think for some of the users out there, it will be a great way to game and create content without the risk of breaking anything. And let me be clear. After using CachyOS for like more than 2 years now, it never broke. Like when I had to reinstall, it's because I was just like bored of, you know, it being like so stable and not having issue with the distro. Same with Nobara. Like I had Nobara a long time on the side, and even the transition, like the upgrade, even if you had like some hiccup from, you know, time to time, I'm talking about Plasma 6, the distro is rock solid. So you won't be disappointed by, you know, this top 6 there. That's all I have to say, guys, before going to the conclusion. Now, the conclusion. This list might change in the future. And if you look at the previous tier list, there is a lot of like distro which make it up, make it down. And some of you are going to be like, hey, I don't agree with your review. Please let me know in the comment below. I want to have your take. I want to have your experience. Because obviously this is my experience, the experience of my community, the experience on big community out there, which I try to grab as much as I can, you know, like the feedback, the issue and everything. But I would say like this is really representative of what the situation is all about when it comes to gaming and content creation. Now, if there is a distro I forget, please let me know also in the comment below. I will be happy to test the distro and make a live where I go into it, try to see like, you know, what's working, what is not working, bench it, see how I feel about the distro itself. I do believe in the future, the ranking is going to be totally different. PopOS is going to come with a new operating system. Cosmic, I'm really looking towards this one. There is a lot of new features that are going to be pushed, right, for some of those distros. And so I'm going to be remaking a full chair list in the coming months. So I would say like between 6 and 12 months. As we speak, in late 2024, 2025, this is my feedback toward those distros when it comes to gaming and content creation. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to put a thumbs up and also join us on our Discord. Discord is becoming like pretty big those days. And also, if you want to support the channel financially for me to try new things, to invest in some hardware and to go like really further in all those test review, please do. You have no idea how much it helps. So I want to thank all the members of Patreon, all the members of Ko-fi, all the members of the sponsor on YouTube, all the users who donated. You guys are the best, and I don't know how to thank you more than that. Ready? You guys are the best. Guys, thank you for watching, and as always, see you in the next one. Bisous, bisous.